Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just an epic duo in love that loves some epic rap battles of history.
And I'm very curious about this one.
Yes, so it is 4th of July, Independence Day here.
Woohoo!
And yeah, woohoo indeed. It's about independence, it's about freedom!
It stops because he dies.
Spoiler alert! So it is William Wallace versus George Washington for this epic rap battle of history. And yeah, looking forward to this one.
Yeah, indeed.
And so the way we do this is we're going to watch it one time just for fun, and then after that we're going to scientifically break it down and let you know who we thought won each verse based on, you know, a whole bunch of different scientific factors.
Indeed.
And if you want more epic rap battles of history, go ahead and check out the description of this video. We got a playlist there for you. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Ooh, nice. What? Ooh, stank face.
Yeah, seriously.
The difference between you and me, Willie. I fought till I was actually free, Willie. I got my face on a quarter, you got drawn in quarters. Tortured on the orders of a king, really. I should get beef by two named Lawson. Your hot dog need to cut off your beef brain. I'm running like a national band. Ain't nobody more street to beat ya. Stone face with a grill and sheep king. A Mel Gibson movie is your legacy. I gotta stay to the day in a DC. Boat, stroll, sleep and cut your throat. Stroll, watch the blood flow. Now who's got that red coat?
Look at you in your little blousey outfit, looking like a stiffer white dick than your monument. Help me, you died owning slaves, and I'd set them free.
Yeah, there you go.
This parapet cut and beat me in a foot race. I was emasculated, eviscerated, and then jumped up and they put it on a plate. And I still find time to bust a caragram and rip your Yankee Doodle arse on the mic. I'll knock your face off your moolah. I'm a gubra, hoorah, hoorah. They've got no children. Cross the Delaware, but your soldiers can't swim. That's Washington, such a shite addition. The fucking British Army didn't even want him. I'm Wallace, rude, I'm flawless. They hid in your office, I suffer great losses. I popped my kill, strapped my sword and my hilt, step on the battlefield, and I'm ready to kill. And all your politicians straight down to hell. The only Washington that trusts is Denzel.
Chop down an MC like a cherry tree. See power, that's what the meaning of my flag is. Your nation's famous for Copenhagen. I'm fabulous, from my head to my shoe buckle. Step to me or catch a knee to the boot knuckle. Cause the NATO went no drown. I'm dressed like a pimp, best moves at the bar. McCaffrey, McLivin, McScooya. Cock, black, more Scott, and Henry is wild.
I don't give a shite about your fancy clothes. You ripped all those and I slaved black folks. Grew weed and you made him broke. But if you think I'll beat me, you must be having a smoke. Oh, Joe, don't tee off with me, lad. If you held my balls, you couldn't be my cadet. Jojo's as old as Chevy. You're the father of your country, but I'm your daddy.
Nice.
Oh, damn. Okay. To me, there's a clear victor. But, you know, we'll break it down. We'll see. Maybe there's something I missed.
There's a difference between you and me, Willie. I fought till I was actually free, Willie. I got my face on a quarter, you got drawn in quarters. Tortured on the orders of a king, really? I should get beef by two named Lawson. Your hot dog need to cut off your beef brain. I'm
They're so disgusting.
Ain't nobody more street to beat ya. Stone face with a grill and sheep king. A Mel Gibson movie is your legacy. I gotta stay to the day in a DC. Roll up in a boat, stroll, sleep and cut your throat. Stroll, watch the blood flow. Now who's got that red coat?
Look at you in your little blousey outfit, looking like a stiffer white dick than your monument. I'll knock you the fuck out of me. You died owning slaves, and I'd set them free. That's the Highland way. This parapet cut and beat me in a foot race. I was emasculated, eviscerated, and then jumped up and they put it on a plate. And I still find time to bust a caragram and rip your Yankee Doodle arse on the mic. I'll knock your face off your moolah. I'm a gubra, hoorah, hoorah. They've got no children. Cross the Delaware, but your soldiers can't swim. That's Washington, such a shite addition. The fucking British Army didn't even want him. I'm Wallace, rude, I'm flawless. They hid in your office, I suffer great losses. I popped my kill, strapped my sword and my hilt, step on the battlefield, and I'm ready to kill. And all your politicians straight down to hell. The only Washington that trusts is Denzel. Is that a
I think you have to go first since you had the clear one in mind.
William Wallace just destroyed him, eviscerated him. I mean, George Washington had a good one kind of out of the gate about the fact that like he lived long enough to actually be free, whereas William Wallace kind of like, but I mean, the whole thing about Braveheart was the fact that, you know, he did live free in his final days. No, he didn't like completely get the chance to see Scotland free and liberated. And again, I don't know how, I mean, you know, this is most of my knowledge is based off of the movie, so obviously this is not going to be historically accurate. To me, while that line was really good by George Washington, I just don't think it was really impactful when I think about it, because to me, like, William Wallace did end up living free till up till the day he died. Once he decided to fight England.
It was William Wallace, 100%. These are two historically incredible men who stood up to England at different parts in history. Yes, legally, like, George Washington earned his freedom and liberated a country, and yes, all of the legality is there to back that up, but William Wallace's actions were the catalyst that led to freedom for his country as well. So he didn't live to see it. He made that ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
And in a horrific way. But he had equally as much impact, one could argue. So it's not that he is really the lesser because he lost his life in it. I mean, if anything, he died a huge hero for Scotland.
I don't know. I just felt like George Washington was more his rhymes were more pompous and lyrics were a little bit more pompous, like kind of talking himself up than really kind of cutting down William Wallace. Whereas William Wallace, I just feel like was just taking it straight to George Washington the entire time, and just talking about the fact that he couldn't have kids and his boys can't swim down the river. So yeah, I thought William Wallace crushed it that first time.
Yep.
You got for me? I chop down an MC like a cherry tree. See power, that's what the meaning of my flag is. Your nation's famous for golf and hanging. I'm fabulous, from my head to my shoe buckle. Step to me or catch a knee to the moose knuckle. Cause the day don't wear no drown. I'm dressed like a pimp, best moves at the bar. McGavin, McGlivin, McScooya. Cock black, more Scott than Hadrian's wild.
I don't give a shite about your fancy clothes. You whipped all those on a slave black folk. Grew weed and you made him broke. But if you think I'll beat me, you must be having a smoke. Oh, Joe, don't tee off with me, lad. If you held my balls, you couldn't be my caddy. My style's ice cold, yours is old as Chevy. You're the father of your country, but I'm your daddy.
Oh, whoa!
I think again, William Wallace just absolutely crushed him. Again, he brought up slavery in both verses. And I thought each time, I thought the first one was really good when he talked about the fact that George Washington had slaves and William Wallace set them free. And I think it's also I also heard a lot of people talk about the fact that George Washington set his slaves free at the end, but then I guess that is not true. That is not historically accurate. That George Washington set them free. But again, I'm not don't claim to be any historian, but I think we saw that on John Oliver. They talked about the fact that was not true.
But I'm sorry, even if it was true, wow, what a big sacrifice. You set them free when you were dying. You had all the service out of them that you wanted and then just decided to let them go. I'm sorry, you don't get props for that.
No, yeah.
I thought it was great that William Wallace brought up the slavery because that is hitting George Washington in his nuts. That is the shame stain on the founding father of this country, is the fact that he had slaves.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that he was talking about, because Washington had a good line that, he was talking about when he was propping up America, and he was talking about, you guys only like golf and haggis or whatever, which I've never had haggis, but it just sounds disgusting. But then William Wallace is like, you can't even be a caddy holding my balls. I mean, you're not even fit for that. So I thought, anything that George Washington kind of talked to him about, William Wallace brought it back in tenfold.
I will say that my one criticism of the depiction of Washington would be his waving of the flag and claiming for his own power. And my only criticism, no, never met George Washington, haven't met the man, we'll never meet the man. So this is all just based on how he tends to be portrayed in books and TV shows and films. But he was always portrayed as somebody who didn't want the power. So to then be boasting about the power in the rap felt not necessarily consistent with his character.
I don't think you even need to know him personally to kind of believe that is true, that he did not, seek power, because he stepped down when he didn't have to. He didn't have to, only do,
And I believe he turned down the presidency when he was first offered it. I believe he was trying not to accept it, but had to accept out of the fact that they were there's no one else. I mean, not that there aren't people who would be happy to take the job, but there was nobody else who could actually unite the colonies and lead the country. Yeah, and he could have served for as long as he wanted to as president. But the fact that he didn't, I think, did show the fact that he was not someone that was power crazy, power hungry. I think everyone seeks power to some extent.
in their lives, but he didn't want that kind of absolute power. He didn't want to be a king. So I thought that was really good. You'll let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments and who you thought won this epic rap battle of history. And if you want more epic rap battles of history, we got a playlist down below in the description of this video.
Happy 4th of July to all who are celebrating.
Happy 4th of July! And thanks so much for checking out our reaction for epic rap battles of history, George Washington versus William Wallace. But just keep in mind
That our reaction is definitely not definitive.